So let's talk about maximizing just 5 minutes of time for your self-care. Hey, welcome to Selfcare Karen. Welcome back. Welcome here for the first time. This is my channel. It's all about my self-care journey. I concentrate on videos around self-care. I do guided meditations, and of course I explore my addiction to beauty products. You can follow me on Instagram. Also, I'm on Pinterest, and I have an Etsy shop, and I am just about to launch a new package on my Etsy shop called the Knackered Mum package, all related to these series of videos that I'm doing about knackered mums. I'm a knackered mum. Are you a knackered mum? Yeah, take a look at my Etsy shop. I've got loads of packages where I sell personalized skincare recommendations. So you just let me know what your skin type is and your skin concern or concerns, and I will create a curated, bespoke, custom-made list of recommended products for you. And I also sell self-care tools, so just tools that will help you plan out your self-care and track it, plan out your day, manage your time better, make sure that you're keeping on track and that you're taking inspired action. So yeah, take a visit to take a look at my Etsy shop. And I'm really pleased to be able to share a money off coupon with you, and you can find details of that money off coupon down in the video details. So today's video is all about what you can do when you have perhaps 5 minutes to yourself. It comes up rarely if you're a mum like me, and really just I had a brainstorm yesterday of the things that I think really bring in some return on investment of those 5 minutes of time. Then last night I went to sleep. I slept quite well until about 4. Then I woke up from a bad dream and I didn't get back to sleep again. And I am really knackered. So whilst yesterday I was feeling really inspired to share all these thoughts with you, today I kind of feel like I need to spend the whole day just doing these things to bring some self-care and self-love in. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to sharing my ideas with you, but obviously it's not an exhaustive list. And I would love to hear your thoughts about what you can do for self-care in just 5 minutes. So if you do have any ideas, any suggestions, then please just put them below in the comment section. It'd be fantastic to hear from you. Okay, so my ideas are not in any particular order. I did a brainstorm yesterday, and I'm just going to talk you through the ideas that I had. And yeah, I think I want to start with this one though. So I listened to a podcast last week from Jay Shetty about how you can improve your sleep. I've been having a lot of difficulty recently, not with falling asleep, but with waking up in the night and then not being able to get back to sleep. And this has been a recurring thing for many years. But I'm just sort of trying to rethink how I deal with that, because obviously what I've been doing hasn't been working. And you know, I think it's, what is it, insanity if you expect to change but you don't actually change anything. So yeah, so one of the things that was suggested in this podcast, which I thought was really interesting, and if you haven't listened to his podcast, definitely recommend. It's all about living your life with purpose, and he calls himself an urban monk, but he actually did train as a monk for a few years. So he brings some new thoughts to some old topics, I guess. And one of the things that he suggested was, because of our rhythms, is it circadian rhythms? Anyway, if you watch either the sunrise or the sunset, or both, yeah, ideally, you can reset your body, you can help your body to be in better rhythm. And so, you know, given that I woke up at 4 in the morning, I definitely watched the sunrise. That said, not actually sure if there was much sun this morning. It's a bit grey and gloomy at the moment, but failing that, I actually think just looking out, and he suggested this too, just looking out at a view rather than you know, having a focused gaze, but allowing your gaze, your view to widen, to make it landscape. That can really help to relax and soothe and get yourself back into the rhythm that is going to help you achieve sleep, or in this case, you know, just a bit of self-care. So if you can watch the sunrise or the sunset, fantastic. If not, maybe just take a few minutes, take 5 minutes, maybe even less if that's all you've got, to take a look at whatever view you can. Now, I appreciate that not everyone has got an amazing view. I'm really lucky because out of these windows, yeah, very gloomy out there, but there's a school, but there's quite a lot of trees and green, and then there's a row of houses. But if I look out of my window, out the window of my kitchen, there's actually a little wood. It's not a very big one. I can see a row of houses sort of just across the way. But the fact that I can see green is really helpful. And in fact, if you have no nature near you, and I appreciate that many of us do not, many of us don't have outdoor spaces nearby, you know, we live in concrete jungles, then maybe just even looking at the colour green can help. It's obviously something to do with the evolution of man, and green is a very, very soothing colour. So yeah, that's definitely something to think of in terms of self-care. And what I did do this morning was I made myself a cup of tea, and for me that is so soothing, and it's just a moment to, you know, enjoy the warmth, the flavour. I love my tea. It's an acquired taste, I would say. Not, I've been told that anyway. But I love Lapsang Souchong, which is a smoked Chinese tea. And yes, I have it with milk. I know you're not supposed to. But whatever, you know, floats your boat in terms of beverages. I try to limit the caffeine that I have in the day. So I generally only have 2 cups of tea in the morning that have got some caffeine in them. And then the rest of the tea that I drink is decaffeinated. But, you know, your favourite drink might be coffee or whatever. But, you know, just taking those 5 minutes to have something which is really one of the simplest pleasures in life, fantastic. That is definitely self-care. Yeah, and just on the word of tea, I also have herbal teas, and I'll put a photo up of a tea that I tried called Love from Pucker. And I don't really like the taste, but I really enjoyed the thought that I was drinking love. I thought that was kind of a really positive, life-affirming thing to do. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of things out there. Pucker actually do some amazing teas. I've got the 3 cinnamon one, which has no sugar in it, but tastes very sweet, and it's just lovely. And I really should remember to drink that more often rather than eating the donuts. So there you go. Another thing that I think is, and I did this morning as well when my son was still asleep, I had a hot shower, and I was only in there for about 5 minutes, but it really makes a difference to have those 5 minutes without, you know, a toddler asking for something while you're in the shower and you're praying that they don't drop the iPad into the shower and then you have to buy a new iPad. But yeah, so even just something simple like having a shower or a bath. I mean, 5 minutes is a bit short for a bath, but you know what, even a foot bath, definitely something that I would recommend. And, you know, just get a bucket or a washing up bowl, put in some hot water, maybe put in some salt. It doesn't even have to be fancy schmancy salt. You can use kitchen salt. That salt is still good for the skin, and it's very, very relaxing. Or milk powder. Now, I've spoken about milk baths before, and this is definitely a really good hack without having to spend a lot of money on, you know, something for the bath or for your foot bath. Just some milk powder that you can get from the supermarket. Just sprinkle some in, the water will turn cloudy, and it will be very, very good for the skin of your feet, because the lactic acid is an exfoliant. So yeah, that's another idea to do in those precious 5 minutes. Now, I already said, you know, I understand that not everyone has got a good view, a green view, I would say, but perhaps you do have an outdoor space that you can walk to. And even if it is just 5 minutes outside, in nature if it can be, but if not, just outside, change your scenery. That is a way of, and a very accessible way, hopefully, of practicing self-care. Yeah, so it might only be for 5 minutes. If you can do 15, fantastic. But, you know, just taking that break, because we spend a lot of time in front of our screens, in front of TV, in front of the computer, and just making that switch can really be an act of self-care. Now, the other day I did something which I felt really courageous and brave doing, because it was something that initially I was like really, really against doing. But then, slowly I kind of was listening to my intuition, and it was telling me, you need to do this. And I updated my LinkedIn profile to say that I'd been doing this Selfcare Karen journey. And, I've been trying to keep my old professional life and all that I was doing kind of separate. But, I took this and I felt it was a bold step forward. And afterwards I messaged my friend and I was like, oh my God, I did it, because she knew I was thinking about it. And she said, right, put this song on and just dance. And yeah, so I did it, and it's called Jerusalema. I'll put the details below. But I just danced to it. I was in my office, people could see me, I guess. And I just released this energy, out into the universe, if you like. And it was very joyous. And and I just felt amazing. So even if it's just dancing to your favorite song or to an uplifting song, do it. It might not even be 5 minutes, might be less, but it will make you feel good. And at the end of the day, that's what self-care is about. It's about feeling good, because the more you search or seek out feeling good and feeling joy in your life and happiness and really high vibe emotions, the more they're going to come back for you, because what you put out is what you get back. So just take those few minutes and be joyous. And I spoke about vibrations there. It's all to do with the law of attraction, which is something that I'm exploring. Another way of kind of changing up your vibration, if you're feeling a bit down, and you might be feeling that way if you feel that you need, some self-care, or you might not. But anyway, a way to really get your point of attraction up and running and in a good place is through using affirmations. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but at the end of every video I say an affirmation, which I used in my fertility journey, which is, I am in perfect time, and I say you are in perfect time. You need to find the affirmations that work for you, and they can change over time. Maybe they change every day, but definitely really thinking about who do you want to be, and saying those words and believing those words, that is going to help you. That is a form of self-care, and that is really going to be transformative. Another way of practicing self-care that you can do in like 5 minutes is through journaling. So I only recently started doing this again. Years and years ago I kept a diary, but I stopped. But sort of late last year I started journaling again. And in fact, I'm just using a notebook that I had, and I've covered it in a colour copy of my vision board. So it's just a visual reminder whenever I pick it up of, what I'm striving for, what I'm wanting to attract in my life. And I write bits and pieces in there, and I don't write there every day. I just do it when it feels right, because at the end of the day, any kind of routine that I put into place, any kind of actions that I do, it's all about getting into alignment. So it's about feeling good so that I can take inspired action and I am attracting what I want in my life. And so, I don't journal every day because I don't feel like doing it every day, but some people do. And you can script, you can write down what you want, you can write about what you have. You might want to write about what you're grateful for. I have another way of doing that, but anything that is going to make you feel better, get you feeling better feeling thoughts. So and you can literally do that in 5 minutes. So another activity, if you like, that you can do in 5 minutes that is self-care, and I do this rather a lot and sometimes for longer, is use a face mask. Now, not all face masks available, they often say it needs to be for longer, but I found one from Superdrug, which is the vitamin E one, and I'll put a photo up. And literally it can be on there for 5 minutes, less even, and you do see results. Your skin is softer and smoother. So think about that. If that's good for you, if that makes you feel like you're caring for yourself, which you definitely are, then try using a face mask. And by the way, I've got a series of videos about me trying out different face masks if you're interested in my experiences. I love trying out different face masks, but they're not all the same. So yeah, definitely good to explore and see what works for you. Right, so I've got two more ideas in terms of self-care. First one is stretching. And you know, it's unbelievable, even if you just have 5 minutes, the change that you can feel in your body from doing just 5 minutes of stretches. Now, I like to do a yoga pose called the pigeon pose, which really stretches out your hips because I get a lot of hip discomfort. But you know, you might prefer to do some other kind of a stretch, whatever, but that movement, and even if it's quite static, because I generally hold a stretch for a long period of time, is very, very good for, you know, your mental health, for feeling good, as well as your physical health. And that kind of leads me on to meditation, which is another activity that you can definitely do in 5 minutes. And I actually have a video which is a 5-minute meditation. I've got many guided meditations, but this one is specifically targeting the knackered mum, like me, maybe like you. And yeah, so you can definitely meditate in 5 minutes. Now, you might prefer to do it without any noise. That's fine. Many of us struggle to get started with meditation, so using a guided meditation is a really good way to get into it. And yeah, for 5 minutes, you can definitely find peace. You can reset your mindset. It's a really, really good practice to have. So, and sometimes what I do is I meditate and I stretch at the same time. And I'm able to do this. I'm not really thinking about my body. I'm thinking more about the meditation when I'm not kind of really thinking, or yeah, I generally listen to a guided meditation. So I'm probably focusing on an affirmation or an intention. But I find those two things go really well together. So maybe give that a try. You kind of get more bang for your buck that way, right? So obviously not the longest list, not the only list. I'm sure there are many, many more activities that can be done in 5 minutes that really promote your self-care. But hopefully this gives you some inspiration to really maximize those 5 minutes that you get whenever you get them. If you do have other ideas, please share them with me. It'd be lovely to hear from you. Just put your comments below. It's great when I get interaction. Yeah, and if you like this video, please click on the thumbs up and obviously subscribe to my channel. Hit the notifications button or bell so that you get notified when I release videos, which I do twice a week on a Monday and a Friday. So yeah, looking forward to connecting with you again soon. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please remember, you are in perfect time. See you soon.